Hey, everybody, it's me, Queenie. I am so happy to join you today. We need to talk, okay? Today we're going to have a pretty interesting conversation. But before we get started, I want to make sure that you have a notepad and a pen so that you can jot down some of these things that I share because I'm sure that if it doesn't apply to you, it definitely applies to someone you love and you want to be informed and aware. And so just make sure you jot down some of the notes, okay? The second thing I want to let you know is that before I made the decision to do this live, I felt led to honestly, and I was praying about it, and God gave me a message for you. So I'm going to be sharing that at the end. So stick around for that, and then please feel free to include your comments, and I'll be able to see them pop up on the screen. At least I think I will. Let me see. Yeah, I'll be able to see your comments and let's get it going. So, very recently, I was introduced to this book. It's called Love Does No Harm, and I highly recommend it. It's been incredibly insightful. And so, I come across so many women in my work, and we all have had situations where we say all the time, I wish I'd seen the signs. I wish I knew ahead of time. I wish I could have known so that I could have made a different choice. And so I just wanted to take this time to just pop in and share some relationship red flags with you so that perhaps it might shine some light on the darkness that may be in your life or in someone else's. But I think that it helps us all when we become more aware, right? So I see someone watching. Thanks so much for joining me. Be sure to leave a comment, say hey, and where you're watching from. Okay, so relationship red flag number one, quick involvement. Many of us have had this experience, right? Um, Usually, someone who comes on very strong and usually pressures you early in a relationship to commit very quickly, that is a sign that something could be dark at the other end of it. So don't allow yourself to jump into things quickly. Take your time to get to know someone. Take your time to get to know their character. How do they react when they're frustrated? How do they respond when they're disappointed? How do they deal with rejection? How do they deal um, with all of the things that we deal with on a daily basis? You want to see how someone reacts in their lives because that'll give you a clue as to how they'll treat you on the other side of it, right? Okay, premature intimacy. I'm not in judgment right now, but if you find yourself in a relationship and you jump into intimacy very quickly, oftentimes that doesn't give someone the time that it takes actually to build respect for you, and people will mistreat people they don't respect. All right, so that's red flag number two. The next is unrealistic expectations. Someone who expects you to be perfect and to meet all their needs, to serve you, obey you, and to always stay at home. That's a red flag. That's a red flag. You are heading down a dark path if this is a red flag for you, or if you notice these behaviors. Another is isolation. Does your partner want to keep you all to themselves? Sometimes that might feel good in the very beginning, but later on you realize that that is a type of possessiveness that creates a whole lot of chaos later on, and it creates bondage. So if that is showing up in your life, that is a surefire red flag, especially in situations where they isolate you from your friends and family. Definitely a red flag. Jealousy. Excessive jealousy is a sign of possessiveness, insecurity, and a lack of trust. So, does the person call you or visit you unexpectedly? Do they prevent you from going out with your friends and family or to spend time with other people? If that is happening in your life or the life of someone you know and love, that's a red flag. Okay. Another is blame or excuse making. People who tend to lean towards abuse rarely take responsibility for their actions. It's always someone else's fault. And then they want to manipulate you into believing that it's your fault. That's a red flag. Pay attention to these signs because when you see them, at least you have a clue that this may or may not be a situation that's going to end the way you want it to. Another red flag is no repentance. A person who has a lack of remorse, so they follow the same pattern as jealousy and blame. They rarely, if ever, show any remorse or ask for forgiveness. Um, these people often tend to want to manipulate a situation to their benefit or their preference. That is a red flag. Another is hypersensitivity. People who are abusers people who are abusers will tend to be easily insulted. They'll be quick tempered. They'll lash out at other people, and they may often have really quick mood swings. The interesting thing is you don't really know that you're in a trap until you're in one, right? Well, when you see someone having these mood swings and that are quick to kind of go off and lose it, that's a sign that they may have some abusive tendencies. So um, let's see. I've gone through the first eight. There's eight more. And the next one is forced or coerced sexual acts. If someone is forcing you or trying to convince you to do something that you're uncomfortable doing, that is a sign. That's a red flag, especially if they tend to do things like maybe throwing you down or pinning you down or smothering you or doing things like that in jest. And then when you confront them, they say, I was just playing. That's a red flag. Pay attention to that. Um, if they don't allow you to have an opinion, like you're under a dictatorship and they tend to take away your right to have a feeling of your own. So pay attention to that. That too is a red flag. Verbal abuse, someone who criticizes, says cruel and hurtful things, who curses or degrades you or calls you ugly names, wakes you up with verbal abuse or refuses to allow you to sleep. Those are red flags. Pay attention to what you're seeing because this is going to lead you to a place where you can end up in a really dark place, honestly. Someone who exhibits controlling behavior. They interrogate you about who you talked to, where you went, how long you were there. They control your finances or require that you ask permission to do things. That is a sign that you are going to be in a dark place. Now, stick with me. There's going to be, I have a message at the end of this that God gave me specifically for you. So hang in there. We're almost done. Another sign is cruelty to animals or children. Insensitivity to animals or children is very common in people who are mistreating others. They have an insensitivity, and you need to pay attention to that as a red flag. Another is manipulation and intimidation. Someone who uses fear or anger or intimidation again to enforce a toxic person's desires and goals. That's a red flag. They gaslight you, try to make you feel like you're crazy, spin you around and around in your thoughts. That's a red flag. Pay attention to those. If any of these are standing out for you, make sure that you leave a comment in the comments for me. Let me know that you're with me. All right, threats of violence. Abusers will tend to say things like, I'll break your neck or I'll kill you. And if someone says that to you, run because there have been too many women, too many people that have lost their lives because they didn't listen to those warning signs. And then often they'll dismiss them and say, I was just joking. I was just playing. I didn't mean it. I wasn't going to do anything. But that's time to get help if you see things like that. So the final one is narcissism. Now, this one, oh my gosh, I can do a whole video on narcissism. And while every manipulator is not a narcissist, every narcissist does display signs of manipulation, fear tactics, and toxic control in relationships. So I just wanted to pop in honor of Domestic Violence Awareness Month. I wanted to make all of us aware that these are some signs that if you notice these early on in relationships, these are clues to pay attention to. Don't ignore them. Don't pretend like you didn't see them. And don't think they're not going to get worse. They always get worse. And it always is destructive for you. So I promised you in the very beginning that God had given me a message to share. And so I'm going to do that very quickly. I want to thank you for just popping in with me. The message is God said to me, tell them I love them. I mean, I really deeply, profoundly, unconditionally love them. In this world, darkness is covering the earth. Gross darkness is covering my people. But even in the midst of it, I am with you. I love you, and I prepared a way for you out of it all while you're in it. Remember, my Holy Spirit lives within you, and He's there to remind you, equip you, and empower you to tap into your God likeness. I made you like me for a reason, a powerful reason, a life altering, awe inspiring reason. I'm there with you in your pain. I'm there with you in your shame. I'm with you in your feelings of despair. I'm even with you in your resignation, your feelings of wanting to give up, cave in, and quit, even quit on me. I'll never leave you. I'm here to restore you. You see, I've placed gifts within you. I've made wisdom available to you. So ask, seek, and knock. Ask for wisdom and know that I will pour it out to you. Seek my purpose for you and it will be revealed to you. And knock on the door for your blessings and keep knocking. The doors to your blessings and favor will rush open to you. Don't let fear cause you to bury your talents. Don't do it. The pain that you carry, pour it out to me so I can refill you with my love. I can mend the broken pieces of your heart. I want you healed. I need you restored, and your testimony will go before you and help someone else be restored. Make space for me. Make room for me. Make time for me so I can give you all that I promised you and more. I deeply, profoundly, unconditionally, agape love you, and I will never leave you. I'll give you beauty for ashes, for your sadness and for your tears. Let me rebuild your faith and your trust in me and my heart and love towards you. I made you like me for a reason. Stay close so I can reveal to you why, says the Spirit of God. So thank you so much. I'm Queenie Brown. Thanks for joining me today. I appreciate you. Please do join me again. Follow me everywhere. And I'll see you again soon. I'm going to continue talking about this topic because this book is so rich. Again, it's Love Does No Harm. It's been incredibly insightful for me. And I pray that it blessed you today. All right. God bless you. I'll see you soon.